So there's a cruise line out there that's getting praise for enforcing one of its rules. That's crazy, right? Shouldn't they be enforcing all of their rules? The cruise industry notorious for not enforcing all of its rules. I've made a little list of rules that are frequently unenforced on cruise ships. And look, we got a pile of cruise news. So all that and more on today's episode. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. I guess let's start with the cruise news stories. Disney Cruise Line has had a big milestone. They've got the float out of their newest cruise ship, the Disney Adventure. And not only is this Disney's newest cruise ship, it's also their largest cruise ship ever. The float out occurred over in Germany at the Meyer Werft shipyard. And the event happened under the watchful eye of Captain Mickey and Captain Minnie. And the thing that really leaves me vexed about that story is if Captain Mickey and Minnie are over there in Germany, how can they also be in Orlando or in Paris or in China? Do you think they have more than one Mickey and Minnie? I think maybe they do. This is the biggest cruise ship ever for Disney. As I said, it's going to service the Asian market. Going to do some sailings over there in Singapore. I don't know, any of you U.S. Disney fans going to try to get on that ship? You're getting closer. There's a few more months of the finishing touches, and then the Disney Adventure will be on the high seas. There'll probably be another Mickey that stays on that ship. Something's amiss. Something is amiss. Back in 1995, a young Angelina Jolie and the movie Hackers introduced many of us to the concept of people using the internet to do bad stuff to us. Fast forward to 2025, and I think we're all well too familiar with the dangers of the internet with hackers and identity thieves. That's why I'm thankful for the sponsor of today's episode, Private Internet Access VPN. PIA VPN is an application that you put on your internet connected devices, which basically hides your data and encrypts your data to keep it away from the prying eyes of hackers and identity thieves. I really like PIA VPN for a couple key reasons. It's one low subscription price for all of your devices. Cover your whole household for one price. Also, they have rock solid 24/7 support, a 20-day money back guarantee. The other thing I like about PIA VPN is their no log policy. So not only are they protecting your data, they're not keeping any of your data for themselves either, which is a plus on top of a plus. And another thing that I like to use PIA VPN for is geofencing. One of my sons was talking up the cartoon Rick and Morty. I jumped on Netflix to see if I could watch it, and well, it's not streaming in the US, but it is streaming in Netflix in the UK. So I use my PIA VPN to connect to a server in the UK. Bingo bango, I'm watching Rick and Morty. Now, excitingly, you can try PIA VPN for yourself at a discounted price. Click my link in the description. You get 83% off of your subscription. That equals about $2.03 a month, and you get 4 months absolutely free. Thank you, PIA VPN, for sponsoring today's episode. Now, before we get to our next story, let me just do a quick clarification on the Princess story that we talked about yesterday. Princess Premier and Princess Plus, those are the packages that are offered by Princess Cruise Line that you can add on to your cruise. I love the Princess Premier package at $90 a day. And yesterday I was explaining that the cost of that package will be going up $5 a day. And the cost of the Princess Plus package will also be going up $5 a day. A lot of people reached out and said, hey, Tony, it's only going up $5 a day if you purchase it once you're on board. And the people reached out almost like, well, it's not really a price increase then. It is a price increase. They're giving you a discount now if you purchase it prior to your sailing, right? The only way you can get it for $90 and $60 is to buy it, prior to your sailing. And honestly, the move by Princess, this is what I've seen as I followed the earnings call of these cruise lines over the last few years. I do need to talk about today's date. Over the last few years, there's a big line item or big conversation, big talking point in these earning calls where they're like, hey, we were able to get onboard spending up. So the strategy of the cruise industry is to get you to spend a bunch of money during the booking process Pre-book your drinks, pre-book your excursions, pre-book your tips, buy these packages. It's true across all of the cruise lines. They want you to spend a lot of money at the point of booking so that by the time that you get on the cruise, you've already paid for all of that stuff. And essentially the money that you're going to spend while on the cruise is new money. But yeah, that's technically true. The price did not change for those two packages if you continue to book them before you get on the cruise ship. But if you do book them once you get on the cruise ship, it's $5 extra per person per day. It's still a price increase in my eyes, but maybe not everybody sees it like that. I don't know. I do want to mention the date, April the 21st, 2025. This is a big anniversary day for us here at La Lita Loca, for myself and the lovely Jenny B. 8 years ago on this day, we uploaded our very first cruise video. The previous week, we had gone on our very first cruise on the Carnival Fantasy. We were able to put together a video and we uploaded a vlog of our journey from Charlotte, North Carolina. I think it only took us down to Mobile, Alabama. I don't even know if we got on the cruise ship. It might have just been a pre-cruise video. But look, you just never know what the catalyst for your life change will be. And it really speaks to the fact that you just got to keep trying and doing stuff. The fact that we went on that cruise and that we uploaded that video completely changed our lives. We're sitting here 8 years later. I've made and uploaded over 2,900 videos. I don't know where I'm at between 2,900 and 3,000. I'm not sure how to even figure out that count, but yeah, I've been making cruise videos for 8 years and I've been living the life of a YouTuber full time since 2018. And it's crazy. You know, I never left North America when I went on that first cruise in 2017. And now I've been basically around the world. I've been to 20 countries and I've met so many people, and millions of people have watched the videos. And it's crazy. It's just crazy. And it's humbling. And at the end of the day, like, the thing I thought about this morning when I reflected back on this 8-year journey is that sometimes you feel stuck in life. You know, you're doing the same job, you're doing the same things, you're thinking the same thoughts, and you really have to give yourself the opportunity to, try and do something different. And sometimes it's scary and sometimes it's risky, but you never know what the one simple thing, the one thing is going to be the catalyst that changes your life. And uploading a video 8 years ago today, on this day, changed our life. And for the better. Most successful and satisfied both Jenny and I have ever been in our entire lives, and looking forward to all the opportunities as they continue to go forward. But thanks. That's what I'm trying to say. That's a long way to say thank you for watching the videos and thank you for engaging. And I hope the exchange is fair. I hope, as many times as I upload a video, that we're giving you something entertaining and fun to watch, and even, people that don't like is something fun to complain about or to feed that for you. But thank you. Okay, let's continue on with the cruise news. Mark your calendar. April the 24th, there's going to be a public work session between CLIAA, the Cruise Line International Association of Alaska, CLIAA, and the city of Juneau. And they're just going to talk about cruising. They're going to talk about what cruising means in Juneau. There's some movement there to maybe restrict cruise ships, but it should be a pretty interesting thing. There's not going to be any option for public comment, but the public can actually participate in this meeting. There's going to be like a Zoom link. So wherever you're at around the world, if you're interested in what's going on in Alaska when it comes to cruising and how the Alaska Assembly feels about it and how the Cruise Line International Association of Alaska feels about it, you'll be able to watch it. It's going to be on April the 24th. And it's going to be at 12 p.m. in Alaska, which I feel like maybe is 3 hours off of Eastern time. But I'll leave the Zoom link down below in the description if you want to zoom in on April the 24th at 12 p.m. Alaska time and see what's going on in Juneau. That could be very fascinating. Let's move on. We'll go from Alaska, I guess we're over there, down to Australia. Big word coming out from Carnival Cruise Line that they're bringing back Grinchmas in July in Australia in 2025. I didn't even know about this. So I guess in July, they've had in the past Grinchmas, where they do programming around the Grinch on Carnival cruise ships. So they're going to do the Grinchmas in 2025 on the Carnival Adventure and the Carnival Encounter. Those used to be P&O cruise ships, P&O Australia cruise ships. You're going to get a holiday stage show in July. There's going to be Christmas caroling, deck parties, ugly Christmas sweater, seasonal food and drink, Christmas trees, lights, all in the middle of July. It sounds cool. I wish they would kind of do it here in the US. Yeah, I just did the Thing 1, Thing 2 breakfast on the Carnival Paradise. We got all the stuff, had the green eggs and ham. I didn't eat the eggs, of course, but yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. And certainly if you are, in that Dr. Seuss vibe, I think Grinchmas would be a lot of fun on a cruise ship. Now, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge something that's happening tomorrow. Friend of the channel, my friend Don Terrace from Don's Family Vacation. He's having cancer surgery tomorrow, and this is maybe his 8th surgery. He's been battling cancer since I've known him for the last 8 years. And I texted with him the other day. He seems in pretty good spirits, but he said, if you could just have some positive thoughts. So I just want to put it out there. Could we all have some positive thoughts for Don? If you're someone who prays, maybe say a prayer for Don as he goes into surgery tomorrow. I love that guy to pieces. He's a super great guy, and really hoping the best for his surgery. Also, I want to acknowledge that the Pope died. I saw that news today. And of course, there's a lot of people that are Catholic out there, and that's a big thing too. So interestingly, we'll be going through this whole choose a Pope process, which is a wild thing. But I just want to acknowledge those two things. And I know, at least the Pope thing's probably top of mind for a lot of people. But Don's pretty much top of mind for Jenny and I as we're thinking about his surgery tomorrow. So please join in. Positive thoughts for Don. Now, I do have to say this to probably the unhappiness of some. Spring break, it's getting ready to kick off, which means several things. It means there's going to be more young people on cruises, and it means some cruise destinations are going to get a lot more people. We have a cruise destination talking about getting 80,000 cruisers this week. Yowza, 80,000 cruisers. Which cruise destination? Well, it's one of the most popular cruise ports in the world. We're talking about Cozumel, Mexico. Cozumel is set to receive 80,000 cruise passengers this week. They're coming on 21 different cruise ships. Here's how it breaks down. Monday, Tuesday combined around 19,000. Wednesday, 14,000. The largest day ever is going to happen on Thursday, 18,000 tourists. 16,000 on Friday, and then on the weekend, maybe 6,000 per day on Saturday and Sunday. All that equals about 80,000 passengers. Big numbers in Cozumel. Last year, they serviced 4.6 million cruisers. This year, they're hoping to hit 5 million cruisers. It's certainly good for the businesses in Cozumel. Cozumel is a great place to go. Love going to Paradise Beach Club. I love going to the Luchador experience there. Of course, there's a lot of great shopping, a lot of great things to do in Cozumel. I can tell you one thing for sure. I'm glad I'm not going to be in Cozumel this week. All right, I really want to talk about cruise rules not being enforced, but I'm old. I need a break. And particularly, I need a dance break. Dance break. Get up. Get up. There you go, dance break. Of course, every time I say get up, I think of the ludicrous classic Detroit Rock City. Get up, everybody's gonna move their feet. Get down, everybody's gonna leave their seat. And they're gonna lose your mind in Detroit Rock City. Get up. Yeah, get up for that dance break. Look, I've got another song that was originally written by, Ludacris, recorded by Beavis and Butthead. It goes like this. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. That's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about breaking the cruise law. One cruise line being praised for enforcing a rule. What are some common rules that are not enforced on cruise ships? Dress code in the dining room. I've seen a few cruise lines enforce the dress code, but I've also seen a few cruise lines not enforce the dress code. I'm going to say that some cruise lines aren't enforcing the illegal substance policy. because it's still showing up pretty heavily on cruise ships. Certainly all cruise lines don't enforce the all aboard time. We've seen people come to the cruise ship after the all aboard time and they're able to get on the cruise ship. There must be some sort of unwritten grace period there. One that's super annoying that I don't always see enforced are kids in the adults only area of cruise ships. I think the problem is some of these enforcement things, like who's going to enforce them? Like, do you want like the crew member to have to enforce it? Is there enough security to enforce all these rules? Is the enforcement worth the hassle? You know, maybe there is some kid in the adults only area, and how long are they going to be there? You know, maybe we don't enforce it because maybe the problem fixes itself. All I know is it doesn't make sense to have rules if you're not going to enforce them. So either enforce the rules or do away with the rules. That's what I'm saying. And of course, you know, if you do away with all the rules, it's going to be chaos. Chaos. I tell you, one of the worst jobs I ever had in my life, I worked at a Burger King that just introduced the self-serve drink station. Back in the day, that wasn't a common occurrence. And I worked in a neighborhood where people were trying to get over. And they would come and they would ask for a water. They wouldn't pay for a soda. And then they wouldn't go and get water. The dumb thing was the water was on the same machine as the soda. So you kind of encourage people to go to the soda machine. I feel like in hindsight, if I was, you know, the boss, I would have said, hey, if you just give people cups of water, you don't have them go to the soda machine. But yeah, I had a job as like a 17-year-old kid, just as a crew member, to stand at the soda machine and, you know, make sure that people didn't get soda. And there were some times I got in some pretty tense situations. So I can imagine if you're just a regular crew member, you don't want to have to go through that, but don't have rules if you're not going to find a way to enforce the rule. Fortunately, the big story is Norwegian Cruise Line is getting some praise from some guests out there on the Norwegian Escape that are saying they actively were policing chair hogs, which is good. Because there's nothing more infuriating than going to the pool deck at a reasonable time, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, to find a deck chair, and only to find, you know, all the deck chairs already have stuff on them. People have taken towels and personal belongings, and they've claimed the deck chair, and then you sit there and you watch it play out. You find some chair that's not the ideal deck chair, and you watch that primo seat deck chair go unused for hours on end because some jackrabbit has put their stuff on it. And well, fortunately, Norwegian Cruise Line cracking down on it. I think other cruise lines are cracking down on it. Also, I've seen signs from Royal Caribbean. I've seen people in Carnival, they put, you know, a sign on there saying, if your stuff's still here in a half an hour or 45 minutes, we're going to move it. Well, I think you should, not only should you move it, I think you should throw it away. I think that would be a great deterrent. Now, certainly you run the risk of, you know, messing up and accidentally throwing somebody's stuff away. But man, you throw away somebody's personal stuff, you know, and it's on them because they tried to save a chair, then maybe they won't do it again. That may be too harsh. That may be a bridge too far. But there you go. That's today's show. Thanks again, PIA VPN, for sponsoring this episode. Make sure you check out this recommended video next. And I posed a question in the very first comment. I would love your feedback. This is Tony for La Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.